Hello. How are you doing?
How's it going?
All right. So what's I actually don't know. Like, is it Dustin, right?
Dustin, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good. Just got a school choir. We got out early.
Nice.
That's never happens. Never happens. If you go to SIU for a choir, just know you will never get out of rehearsal early.
Never.
And it happened. So.
That's awesome.
How you doing, Dustin?
It's good. Awesome, man. I'm glad you're having me here.
Awesome.
Really
hey, it's another person I can bring on.
Yeah.
So who is Dustin? Who is Dustin? What all does Dustin include?
Well, specifically me, Dustin, I'm first and foremost, I'm a worship leader. I married, so I'm a husband. I am a father of one baby girl. She's about to be 5 this week.
Oh.
So the end of this week, yeah. So, and then I'm a barber by day and a musician. Well, the rest of the time. I don't want to say by night, but
yeah.
Any chance I can be a musician, I'm a musician. So
what all does musician include? Like what kind of musician are you?
Yeah, so I play a lot of instruments. I grew up a drummer, and that was my kind of my first love. And then I moved to St. Louis for 3 years to go to Bible school up there, and I toured around playing drums, toured the country. It was really cool. But when I came back home, I kind of made a deal with my parents that if they would pay for my schooling up in St. Louis, if I would come home for the same amount of years and become the piano player at our church. So I had to learn to play the keys.
Yeah.
And so I learned that, and then I started playing bass for a band. So really, I play keys, bass, drums, and just...
so it's everything.
I don't play the guitar. I have a funny story about that.
Yeah.
If you want it. But
sure.
So actually... I just had met my wife, and she was just started coming to our church, and we had our youth room. Every Wednesday night the room probably fit 25 people.
Yeah.
And we were packing like 40 people in there and having these worship nights. It was really a cool thing, and I decided I wanted to play acoustic guitar for a thing. For that night, which was dumb, but my future wife was there, and she's an acoustic guitar player, and so I kind of wanted to impress her a little bit.
Yeah.
And
you kind of just...
I got up there and I played it. Well, in my in-ears, for some reason, I didn't have a lot of me. I had the track. Everything else was going really loud. Everybody else had a lot of me, but I didn't. And I started playing, and my bottom pinky was 1/2 step sharp. And so there was this. We were doing this song, and it had a breakdown section in the guitar. And when that happened, I just, it was like I did my big power strum.
And not realizing.
I had been playing the whole time with that sharp, and everybody could hear it, including the girl I was trying to impress.
Yeah.
And they're just laughing at me. I don't realize it, but then when it came to that part that was just the acoustic, I just strum, and I'm like, oh, and then I'm trying to fix it. And so that was like my wife's second service there, and I was so embarrassed. I was like, gosh, dang it.
Well, at least she thought it was funny enough to marry you.
Right.
So.
It worked. It worked
Yeah.
in the long run. But
Yeah.
So after that, I kind of retired from playing guitar. I need to learn. I need to get better at it. But
my thing is, I'm a musical theater major at SIU, and I have no idea how to play piano. So
Nice. Well, and you know what? That's a good thing. If you're a musical theater major, you know a lot of people who do play.
Yeah.
So if you need them, you can just hire them.
Because that's one thing. One thing you'll see it hopefully some point. Hopefully before this is out, I'm gonna start doing like covers of songs and whatnot.
Oh, awesome.
And I was like, maybe I shouldn't have dropped piano. Maybe I shouldn't have dropped piano because sometimes every time I want to do a cover of someone, I'm like, all right, who do I know? Who can I call?
Right.
Who can I call? This person, or this person.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I've been talking about that forever. Like, I need to learn some basic guitar. Because, like, when I'm producing music or whatever, and I just need, like, basic rhythm stuff, I'm like, I know I could learn that. Like, I don't need to be, like, Joe Satriani. I just need to be able to play some basic, like, and it's a lot of my stuff is pop music, so it's, like, real basic guitar stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna have to hire someone. Luckily, I've got a lot of friends, and I play on their stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of
you can call some favors.
I'm like, yes. There's
or
a
they
lot
get the
of,
friend discount or whatnot.
Right. Well, it's just a lot of bartering. I'll play organ on that. You play guitar on that.
Yeah.
So that works out for me. But yeah, I growing up playing drums, I was that kid. Like I started playing in band at school. Right, I came into high school right as Drumline came out.
Yeah.
So and I grew up playing drums in church, so I was already like playing a full kit and doing all that. And when that came out, I didn't know how to read music, and I thought that was just like a badge of honor to be a drummer that couldn't read music, which is so dumb. But like, I don't know how many times in life that has cost me jobs.
I can't read music.
Really? Well,
I cannot.
For me, it was something that it was like, man, why? It's cost me so many jobs that I could have actually been hired for.
Yeah.
But they're like, you got to be able to read music, and I'm like, So we all have those things that we're like, I wish I would just do.
Yeah.
I know I could, but I just wish I would.
So fun fact. This is my first time ever talking to Dustin in real life.
Yes. We think.
So fun fact about that is, I'm from West Frankfort. He cuts hair in West Frankfurt, and we think that we might have crossed paths at one point in a barber shop, but we have no idea. And so it was funny because I texted you. I saw you on Facebook because it was funny because my best friend's mom. This is how it happened. My best friend's mom sent me like an invite to look at your page. For some reason, I said, "Okay, Melanie, all right."
Those Instagram ads are working.
It was on Facebook.
Oh,
yeah. And I said, "Okay." And I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, this guy is like local. I got a podcast coming up. Maybe I should text him." And so I remember texting you. I was like, "Hey, I know you've never met me, but I have a podcast." And then that was, I think, around January. Had a few trying to find dates and whatnot.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I love that. And we were kind of talking before the show. Like I think it's really cool, especially locally here in Carbondale and now even in Marion. Like there's an artist community here.
Oh, yeah.
When I was growing up, like. I went to high school. I'm really old now, so I graduated in 2006. But like right after that, there was a music scene.
You said 2006?
2006.
I was born in 2005.
Oh my gosh!
And I'm a freshman in college.
Yes, I just turned 36, so I'm an old man. But like at that time, there was a music scene that was just blowing up around here.
Yeah.
And there were multiple artists that left and made it, and there's a lot of artists that are still doing it now.
Yeah.
And we've always had that, like Southern Illinois with the college and everything. We've got art here and a lot of awesome artistic people.
Yeah.
And so to me, like when someone messages me and is like, "Hey, let's do a podcast," I'm just like, yes, because it's like. I'll drive by places and I'll see like cool things happen. I'm like, how do I get in there? Like, how do I get to know these people?
That's interesting. I've said the story. I don't know if I've said it on here. So I did my high school show every year, and one year in 2019, I got scouted from SIU to do my show there. Never did theater again at local theater, and then 2022 of July, my friend was like, "Hey, I'm auditioning for Grease at SIU. You should do it." And I said, "Girl, I have a broken leg. I cannot walk right now. How am I going to audition for a show?" I did it, and then I just got done with my 12th show since then in a year and a half.
Dude, that's awesome.
And it's because like throughout the time, I've just climbed this ladder in Southern Illinois, and I've gotten to the point where no one knew my name really. I got to the point where I can just text people and just ask, and I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I have a few cards on my sleeve I can just pull.
Right.
Or the one thing I definitely learned is don't be afraid to like ask. Don't be afraid to ask.
Absolutely.
Because what happens? You say no.
100%.
Oh, well.
And that's the thing. I think it's so cool too because like in my mind I was trying to figure out like we talked about. I was trying to figure out. I was like, this guy looks so familiar. How do I know him? And I've got friends around here. I've got some friends that Angie Wyatt and those guys at Growing Media and the Spiel. And so like we just did a thing over here with oh gosh, they're gonna kill me for not remembering their media name, but they did this Tiny Desk Crasher thing.
Yeah.
And my friend Rob, and all these artists from like Carbondale and all those things. So like when I get those messages and I see like you're from,
you're just like you gotta go.
I think I know him, but I don't know. But
yeah,
it's actually cool. Like coming and like we actually haven't really spent a lot of time together.
No.
But I think that again it opens up like I love growing with people like that, because I can post like video of, hey, we're shooting a podcast, and that like my people can see you, and you putting a podcast out, so your people can see me. And I think like, and it's a potential audience that
you didn't know was gonna happen.
I didn't know I was gonna have, you know. So, and to me, like, that's the beauty of
being
like, a community.
Yes,
yeah,
and I think definitely especially now. I mean, whenever growing up specifically, I remember Illinois had not a lot going on. I mean, it had obviously had music scene and whatnot, but it wasn't really that big.
Right.
At least I didn't realize it. And then throughout my senior year and now, Illinois is flipping the script, especially Marion with every business coming in and
crazy.
Everything. It's honestly it's gotten to the point where everyone knows everyone.
It
whether
really,
they realize it or not, they know it.
Yeah, and that's we were going over like some of your, like I was looking at your podcast guests, and I was like, oh, I know this guy.
Yeah.
I was just talking to a guy. There's a local guy. He's a little south of us, but he's like a country musician, and he came. We have this. It's kind of like a worship night for like worship leaders all across Southern Illinois, and it's called Cedar Sessions. It actually again started over here at the Growing Media thing, and then we just kind of spread it out. But it wasn't like an intentional, like let's get all the churches together.
No, it was just.
It was like, hey, these are my friends, and we all like he's a worship leader over here, he's a worship leader over here, he's a worship leader over here. Let's like get together and just make some music and worship and all that. And what was really cool about that, like, and I was telling him, I said, he goes like, what got you guys together? And I said, well, that we were all friends. Like, some of us went to high school with each other. So, like, a couple of them went to high school with my brother.
Yeah.
I said, like, we're not trying to be unified. Or, that's a church term people use all the time. Like, let's unify. We weren't trying to be.
You're just trying to hang out.
We just are friends.
Yeah.
That both have, like, we believe the same way and we love the Lord. So we're like, hey, let's get together. We all play music, and they have great cameras. Let's film it. Let's do something. And then he showed up, and he could not. He was like, I just didn't know that there were these people. Like, there's 35, 45 people here involved. Not to mention the people that came. I mean, there's probably 85 to 100 people there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and what's awesome is these people that are in the crowd, they played at the last one. Like, we just like rotate, and it's like, these are all musicians. This is a worship night for musicians.
Yeah.
And
that wasn't supposed to be for musicians.
Right. It's just like, it's for anyone, but like, and I think that's awesome when you can, and I think social media helps with that. The fact that you can start a podcast
from nothing,
and just do it. Like, we are in a special time. I talk about it with music all the time, where the barrier to entry is not as much as it used to be. Now, obviously, now there's more competition. Like, there's millions of artists every day and millions of songs going up every single day.
Yeah.
So it's hard for like someone like me who's putting out new music and all that stuff. I have to do a lot more work than maybe I would have in the past.
Yeah.
But that's part of the fun of it. I was listening to a podcast.
You perfect it more and more and more.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast on the way over here about musicians making content. And it was just like kind of talking to the people. Like, and I'm 36, so like I getting up and lip singing to my songs is kind of like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so dumb. But at the same time, like, it's an opportunity to just, like, I have an opportunity that artists 30 years ago, 20 years ago didn't have. And so, and it's cool, same thing with you, like, doing this podcast, getting it out there, like, your friends can pass it on, and before you know it, like, you can make a living doing something.
You had no idea what you were doing.
No idea.
I was just talking to my girlfriend the other night, and I was like, you know what I think I want you know what I think would be crazy if I'm going to school for music theater right now, and throughout these 4 years, my podcast grows and grows and grows. It gets to the point where I don't need a regular job.
Right.
I mean, musical theater isn't a regular job, but it's still, it's like, and then I'm like, I just went to college, and now I'm not even using that degree. I thought that would be funny. It'd be great.
It'd be amazing.
But it'd be like, funny.
Well, and I think it's so possible now if you just are willing to work. And it's one of those things where if you're willing to do it, we were talking about doing things like paying and not making anything. Like, it's definitely
the more you put into it, eventually, if you keep going at it, at some point
and
it'll pay back.
It only takes like one video
to blow up.
It just, and you never know. It's like you spend all this time, and it's like, this is the one that's gonna be, and then you make a post of yourself saying, hey, I'm blah 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 whatever, like a 15-second, looking at the camera, looking at you, facing you. It's not good quality, and all of a sudden 3 million views, and you're like, what? So
and compared to some people, that's rookie numbers, which is crazy.
It's
crazy.
It is crazy.
There's a lot of people in this world.
There very much is. But that's what's cool too, is that like, even if you like, you can always, like, there's somebody that's not seen you. One of the podcasts I was listening to, they were talking about posting other content that they had.
Yeah.
And like old content, like, and they were like, is it cheesy to do that? And they're like, listen, for every, let's just be realistic, in like our case is hundreds or thousands of people that see one video. If you're lucky to get that, you may say, well, a month from now, somebody's already seen this video. It's like, but there's, if 1,000 people saw the video,
if you post it again,
that leaves how many billion that have not seen it?
Yeah.
So it's like, and if somebody's like, oh, I've seen this before, it's like, who cares? Like, this isn't for you.
It's the internet. Yeah. People are gonna see anything so many times because people just reshare it. One thing, definitely Facebook. Mm-hmm. Facebook, people reshare, repost, every app has a repost option for it to spread it out more and more. I know for me, like, I think I've recorded like maybe 6 or so people. My fourth but at the time I'm recording this, my 4th episode is going to release on Patreon tomorrow. It's gonna be the first episode that's gonna be on Patreon, and it's like, I have so much content already that I could just make clips with, or awesome. I have a few people that I don't feel it's the best quality. I'm just gonna put that on Patreon. Mm-hmm. More and more stuff that I can just, the more I pump out, the more people see, or the more stuff people can see or have the chance to.
Right. And I think it's important too, because I think a lot of times you can, it's amazing to me when I listen to artists, and it's so encouraging. Artists, creatives, whatever you do, people are constantly, like, I think our natural thought, at least mine, I'll speak for me, is like, I don't want to look full of myself.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to look like I'm saying, well, you need to, I don't want to sound like a salesman. You need to go listen to my song. But then I don't know how many people have already, and I'm a starting out artist. Like, I've not been doing the Lee Marie thing for a long time. I've already had those people message me. I had someone a couple days ago send me a message, and they were it was a video of them and their daughter singing like one of my songs, and I messaged him, and I was like, dude, that's awesome. And he said thank you for, like, giving me songs that I can play for my daughter, that aren't garbage, like, they're not,
that have a meaning
songs.
behind
they
it.
Have I'm trying to train my daughter, and teach her about the Lord and all these things, and I want music that's not cheesy, and you're giving me that. And I was like, and this is a good friend of mine, so it's like, that's what he's supposed to say.
And but
to me it was like, what, like, I've accomplished it. Like, that one thing, I've accomplished it.
Like for example, my thing is kind of different, because the only thing one of my favorite compliments ever, I joke around like I'm all this, all that. I do it all the time. But at the end of the day, I am always there. I had so many people come to me before I graduated saying, like, for other kids in creative, saying, thank you for everything you did for my daughter or son. That's or awesome. Kids in general. And then when I sell merch, everything goes, you want this. You want that.
Absolutely.
It's all a joke, nothing. You don't actually need it, but it would look pretty cool. And I'm going to put a hat on him right now.
Huh?
You have one of my hats on you right now.
I do.
I don't know. Now you just moved, so it's like,
voila.
Yeah, power of editing. Power of editing. I just tell him stuff all the time to do.
You want to redo that? I can do it better for you.
No. We keep it. We don't do cuts in this.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So
that's why I said that. It makes it even better.
Oh.
It's like, this is real.
This is real life.
This is happening.
Anyway, back to it. Back to it. What were we talking? Oh yeah, merch. With that thing. And so it's like one of my favorite compliment was someone. She's in a Disney college program right now as a freshman, and she was like, "Nick, you are the most like self-absorbed person I know. But at the end of the day, you are the most brother-like person anyone will meet because of that." I was like,
"That's awesome."
Thanks.
Well, and hey, to put a good spin on it, like, how are you supposed to be there for other people if you're not already good with yourself?
Yeah.
And, so there, just like a lot of people, that's one thing, which is, to go off on another tangent, I don't mean to, but I was talking to my mom the other day about this year. I'm releasing a song a month. In fact, today, as we're talking, I'm actually waiting on the master, but I like the final mix we sent off today, and we're going to get it back today and upload for my next one. But we're releasing a song a month. And I was just telling her, I was like, you know how awesome it is to actually, like, put my own music in the playlist that I want to listen to?
Yeah.
Because so many artists are like, whatever you do, like whether you make videos, whether you like your podcast, whatever, they're like, I don't listen to my own stuff. I don't look at my own stuff. And it's like, why would you do this if you're not going to like it? And to me, the fact that, like, the last couple songs I've put out, I'm like, I'm listening to them. I like them.
Yeah.
And when you can get to that point where, like, you're
comfortable with yourself.
Right. You're just like, I value what I do. And I value who I am. And I'm comfortable with that.
Because, like, at the end of the day, if you don't support yourself, why should anyone else support you?
Exactly. And why am I going to tell you go listen to my song if I'm not?
Yeah.
And some people are like, it's like that false humility thing. Where it's like, I don't do that. To me, it's like, hey, why am I making the song if I don't like it?
Yeah.
Why are you making this podcast if you don't enjoy it? I was on a podcast for a while, me and my buddies, and we were kind of like a nerd podcast. We would, I don't even know how to explain what we were doing. It was ridiculous. But, like, one of our episodes was, we did a fantasy basketball draft with Disney characters.
Oh.
So someone had to make, they had to make the case why Flubber, they picked Flubber in one of the categories, and they were explaining why.
All things, they picked Flubber?
Because they're like,
the green goo with Robin Williams.
He can sit under people's feet and make them jump high. Somebody was like, Jabba the Hutt, I'm picking him as, like, one of the villains. And I was like, they're like, because he'll just stand in the paint and block everybody. And I was like, yeah, but there's 3 seconds in the paint. You can't just stand there. And how's he going to get out of the way? He takes up the whole court.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, the dumbest podcast ever. I've listened back to that podcast like 10 times.
Yeah.
And it sounds so like whatever.
But it's funny.
It was hilarious, and it's me and my friends, and like, we don't do that consistently. We don't do it at all anymore. And like, so to me, that was a time and a moment, and it's like, so I've never understood when guys are like, I don't listen to my own stuff. I don't look at my own stuff. I'm like, why? Then why do it? Like,
I know for me, like I'm not out there, like, listening to my podcast every single day, but I'm getting firsthand experience like this.
Absolutely.
And so I'll go back and be like, well, people were talking about this episode. Why did it stick? And then I'll look at that. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's why.
And like, if you were showing it to someone, you're not going to be sitting there like embarrassed or what. Yeah. It's like, you're like, no, check this out. This is fun. And honestly, if you're excited about it, that's the best. If you're excited about something and I see that you're excited about something. Like,
that makes you want to support it.
Absolutely. Like, coming in here and you, like, showed me, oh, man, I got this. This is like our plan for the next few weeks. Like, that, to me, that's somebody who's on their game and, like, excited about what they're doing. I'm like, I gotta go back and watch these podcasts. Like, if he's that serious. And so, I mean, like, I think that that's important, and for creatives to absolutely believe in what they do and believe in themselves to do it. And if you do it, people, like, see that, and then they will respond to what you do. So
how did you, backtracking way back, how did you get the whole Lee Marie? How did that start?
So I have been wanting to make music. Obviously, I've made music my whole life, but I've wanted to have, like, my own thing for a long time, and I was too busy playing Halo to ever be serious about it. So I finally, me and my my wife is a phenomenal singer. She plays guitar. And so I wanted to do a group with her. So that's where Lee Marie comes from. Lee's my middle name, Marie's hers.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, I like Dustin and Kaylee Griffith doesn't sound like a bad name. But I was like, I kind of wanted my name because I wanted it to be something that, like, you know, you don't have to copyright. You can't take away my name from me. So me and her, we released an album together as a group, and then she kind of wanted to step away from it. She just was. This isn't really her thing. She likes to lead worship in church, but like the whole band side of it, the merch and the all that, you know, putting on a show, that kind of thing. She's just not her thing, really. Yeah. So she kind of stepped away after that first album, and I just kind of made it my solo project, you know, and I owned all the you know, the website and all the name and all the stuff. So I'm like, I'm not gonna like start a new thing. And then the great thing is now is she can come back and sing on stuff anytime, and it's fine.
She still fits in,
Yes, but it is funny because when we play places and people know us, they're like we played.
They expect both of you.
We played at this event back in, I guess it would have been like the fall of last year, and it was for the House of Hope in Heron with the food kitchen, and they do this big fundraiser day, and we played for that, and she had at least 6 people walk up. She was sitting there watching me, and she's like, you got to get up there. It's time to go. And she's like, I'm not singing. And it's like, because she's just like, she gets it all the time. And I'm constantly, people will comment and be like, well, where's the Marie? And I'm like, it's just the name now. So she's with me in spirit, in name. So, that's kind of where we started. And starting this year is kind of my relaunch of that. And like I said, my goal is to release music every month. And so that's what we're doing. I've got about 9 songs on the way. So right now, and I just actually wrote music for another one last night. So now we're kind of 10. So the goal is to just keep going and never stop, you know.
Well, whatever song is, whenever this comes out, whatever song he's on, it'll be playing as the exit card, which is about to happen, actually. Fun fact, But thank you for coming on. Really do appreciate it, of course. It was nice meeting you once again. Never met this man before, so...
But we had a good time.
We're just going on strong, All right. Well, thank you, Dustin, for coming on. I really do appreciate it. Link for his music or whatever is in the description, so you should definitely check it out if you like it. He's a pretty cool guy. You've heard the backstory, so... Give it a little listen. Give it a little listen. All right.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on.
Hey, thank you, man, for having me. This is awesome.
Of course.